Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft, here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Morning, guys.
What was that look for, Skip?
I just wondered how dinner was last night.
I
I saw the paparazzi. I saw it on TMZ. You two at Avra.
I mean,
At Avra, yeah, with LeBron.
Right.
I mean, Shan Jen.
Not with LeBron, just the two of
Shan
you.
Jen is in his beginning stages.
It is. It's the hottest thing on Twitter.
It doesn't have to be this way, though.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Skip, that's unnecessary.
I'm not going to even bump with you.
Hold on, Skip. That's unnecessary. See, you about to start some foolishness going on.
I don't think it's foolish.
It is
It's okay with me. I'm good with it. I kind of like it, actually.
Oh, you kind of like
I
it,
like
huh?
my island over here. You know what? I need another desk. I need to build another desk over there. You know, kind of like Joy has on Colin's show. I should
like
sit
starting-
in one way
You
over
like
here.
starting rumors?
No.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Oh, no.
Me?
Yeah, you.
All right, let's see how you do today, Skip, over on your island. We're going to start with LeBron because his decision to bring his talents to LA has been the story of the summer. On the court, LeBron insists the Lakers are not rebuilding. And off the court, LeBron has turned heads by dining with A-listers like Leo DiCaprio and booking movie and TV deals for his production company.
Yep.
TNT's Charles Barkley weighed in on LeBron's decision, and he loves to talk, guys. He told Sports Illustrated, quote, "I look at the move to LA strictly as a business decision. He's on the downside of his career. He wants to be a big Hollywood mogul. He's going to be driving by the beach every day instead of going through the snow.
Yep.
The Lakers are not even close to a top-tier team. They're a 5 or 6 seed in a best-case scenario."
Best case.
Best case. So, Shannon, I will start with you on this one because I know this guy's ready. But what do you make of this?
Charles is full of it. And the reason why I have a problem with Charles's comments is because Charles, I think it was January or February of 2017, he said LeBron wanted all the best players. LeBron James doesn't even want to compete. What is LeBron James? He's whiny. He had all these things to say because you remember LeBron came back at him, Skip. So you remember you remember exactly what I'm talking about.
We were in Houston at the Super Bowl.
Yes. So he's saying LeBron doesn't want to compete. He just wants the best players and just go out there at it. He criticized LeBron for joining Miami and teaming up with D. Wade and Chris Bosh. So in this situation, LeBron James, he doesn't go to Golden State. He doesn't go to Houston. Hell, he doesn't go to OKC. He doesn't go to Philly or Boston. He goes to a younger team, and now he doesn't want to compete. He just wants to go make movies. So which is it, Charles? You can pick a side and stick with it. Do you want LeBron to compete? Do you want LeBron to go to a super team again, which you say is bad for basketball? Or do you want him to go to a younger team that has some talent, they haven't arrived yet, and try to make them better? You say, well, he's gonna ruin these young guys. I thought you said great players make it easier for other players. So which is it? He wants to have it both ways. Now, we know Charles has gone out of his way to be extra critical of LeBron James. Skip, he said the man is on the downside of his career. In year 15 in NBA history, since they had the All-NBA selection, only 3 other guys have made the All-NBA first team in year 15 or later. Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kobe Bryant. 2 of those guys played an extra 5 years. The other guy played 4 years. How many guys you know in the downside of their career in year 15, first team All-NBA, unanimous?
Is it my turn?
No, it's not.
You asked me a question.
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
When you get an opportunity, you just take notes and then you'll be able to refute anything I say. Thank you. Kareem, Kobe played an extra 5 years. They played 20. Duncan played 4 years. He played 19. So you look at what LeBron has done. First team All-NBA, MVP of the All-Star game, and he finished second in the MVP voting. But he's on the downside of his career when he had the best year as far as rebounds and assists than he had at any other point in his 15-year career. But he's on the downside. Charles, it's okay. The 80s was great basketball. It's okay for these guys in today's game to be better than some of the players. In Charles's mind, he thinks probably Karl Malone and Patrick Ewing are better players because Charles has made it abundantly clear there's nothing LeBron James can do to ever crack his top 5. Really? By all
It's a pretty good top 5.
by all metrics, LeBron James is already there. He's already a Mount Rushmore player. Everybody,
Says you.
No, everybody except Charles Barkley, who's been hating. Skip, it's okay. Charles, you didn't dedicate yourself neither on or off the court to have longevity. You can't be upset at these guys now, especially LeBron, because he spends all of his time in the gym. He spends his hard-earned money to get better and to stay in that great place, which you didn't do. But for you to say he doesn't want to compete because he went to the Lakers, if he goes to the Golden State Warriors, you upset. He goes to Houston, he's upset. If he would have gone to Philly, he would have been upset. He goes to the Lakers, but now all he wants to do be is a vocal. So which is it? Do you want him to compete or you do not want him to compete? But you got to pick one or the other.
My turn?
It's your turn.
Oh, thank you. For the record, Charles Barkley has been very clear from the start. He wanted LeBron to stay in Cleveland back in 2010, and he wanted LeBron to stay in Cleveland this year. Just for the record, that's what he said. Compete in Cleveland. Compete for the franchise in your home area.
Because in the old way of thinking, Skip, that's what happened. Magic stayed, Bird stayed, most of the guys stayed. What bothers Charles the most, excuse me, that's gonna be it's gonna be a me. What bothers Charles the most, Skip, is no player in NBA history has had the power that guy has.
That's
and
true.
He's unafraid to use it. That's what rubs Charles the wrong way, because he's never had that power. Even your guy, who you consider the GOAT, never had the power LeBron James has.
He didn't really have any power. Seriously. Not in the NBA realm. He
Not
had power outside the NBA.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, all these Pantheon greats, Magic, Bird, none of the Kareem, none of them have what this guy has. And it rubs some of the older guys the wrong way, Skip.
So, my turn.
Yes.
I have to admit this on national TV. I can't help myself. I'm turning into a Charles Barkley fan.
Whatever.
Even though for years and years and years, he has blasted me. He's gotten personal with me. He's been much harder on me than he ever has been on LeBron James. And it's been pretty hard on me to like anything that comes out of Charles' mouth. And I've said for years that it felt like the TNT audience was actually laughing at Charles more than laughing with Charles on television, because it's more like laughing at his character more than what he actually says. So, I'm really gaining respect for Charles. He is telling the cold, hard truth about LeBron James again and again and again. And I don't know, dare I say, is he watching Undisputed? Because everything that came out of his mouth to Sports Illustrated came out of this mouth the day after LeBron decided to take his talents to whichever beach you want. Manhattan Beach, if you want to do one.
Too far.
Yeah. Too far away?
Yeah.
Okay. But the point is that you're right. There's history here. There's bad blood here, because Charles really started telling the truth about LeBron back in 2010. He called it a punk move for LeBron to leave Cleveland and take his talents to South Beach.
Why did he want to go?
That's a strong choice of words.
Was it a punk move that he requested to be traded to Phoenix? Was that a punk move?
I don't know.
Why didn't he stay in Philly, Skip?
Well, this is about LeBron, who's much better than Charles, so let's keep it on LeBron. And then Charles called it an even bigger punk move that Dwayne and Chris Bosh and LeBron held that pep rally at American Airlines Arena. Not 5, not 6, not 7. Punk move, said Charles Barkley.
Okay.
So then, back to your point, this was in late January 2017. LeBron and company lost a game at New Orleans. They kind of hit bottom.
Yeah.
And LeBron went on one of his post-game rants about, we are top-heavy as bleep.
Yep.
Top-heavy as bleep. Saying, well, we got Kyrie and we got Kevin Love, but after that, we don't got nothing. And I sat there, again, we were at the Super Bowl in Houston, and I said, LeBron, you can't say that to Kyle Korver and Tristan Thompson and Jeff Green and down the line. You can't dismiss the whole rest of the roster as we're top-heavy as you know what, and I don't have enough help. That's what he was saying.
Okay.
So Charles called.
But because why, Skip? Because he wasn't going to work hard off the court or on the court. Isn't that what Scotty said?
I was never a fan of Charles Barkley, the player, but I'm becoming a fan of Charles, the commentator, because he's just telling the truth. And you can try to discredit him.
I'm not trying to.
You can say he's jealous. You can say he's resentful. Remember, he got stuck in the same era with Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Once that happens, it's game over, man.
But that doesn't mean you can't be the best you can be. So you're trying to tell me
I
because
don't think Charles was ever the best he could be. Ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he didn't. that didn't have anything to do with Jordan. Jordan wasn't with him eating pizza and drinking beer. That wasn't Jordan's decision. That was his decision.
Charles could have gotten in the best shape of his life, and it would not have mattered.
But he could have stayed long. Skip, you never know what could happen. You never know. Don't just, Michael here, we can't win. Well, if that's the case, everybody should stop playing because Golden State have assembled what we think is the greatest team ever. So why is anybody else playing?
You're attempting to do what LeBron attempted to do by going Wikipedia on Charles. You're trying to kill the messenger.
Skip.
The message is true.
Skip,
it's true.
What I'm saying is, if Charles says LeBron doesn't like to compete,
okay, but here's the point. What if LeBron had stayed in Cleveland, which I thought was a possibility? I think you thought it was a possibility.
Yes.
What if he had added Rondo and Lance and Beasley and JaVale? What if they had mixed them? They had some cap room. They could have played with that. They could have sent some of the veterans packing, and they could have added. Maybe he have Rondo as his point guard. Well, you don't think they could win the East next year?
Yeah,
you don't
sure.
think they could at least get to the final?
But here's the thing. Charles also said, how does LeBron get upset at Dan Gilbert when Dan Gilbert has given him everything that he wanted? Well, if it's LeBron's choice, doesn't he get a choice to say where I want to go or where I want to stay? This is what rubs Charles the wrong way, is that LeBron has all that power. And the older players.
That's your take on it. I don't know that that's
Didn't he just give his take on LeBron? That's his take.
Okay, all
so
right,
I don't get to have a take.
Okay. But I'm not going to try to discredit you as a player.
No, Skip, I'm not trying to discredit him. Okay. All I'm saying is he's, like you tell me, he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth. On one breath, in one side of his mouth.
I don't know if he is.
Skip.
I don't know.
He criticized LeBron for saying LeBron didn't want to compete because he wanted all the best players. He doesn't go join a team that has all the best players, and now he doesn't want to compete.
It's hard for you to explain why LeBron chose the Lakers without any guarantee of Paul George or Kawhi Leonard for this year. It feels like his 16th season is just a wash. It's his honeymoon season in LA without pressure, without expectation.
Savannah can't explain it. Randy can't explain it. Maverick, Richie Paul can't explain it. One person can.
Richie Paul.
Rich Paul.
Okay. Go ahead.
Only one person can give you insight in the real reason he did what he did. Is LeBron James.
If that one person can go lead this team to the Western Conference title next year, I'll be impressed. Because that would make a resounding statement. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need Paul George or Kawhi.
So let me ask you a question. Do you believe Kevin Durant could have led the Sacramento Kings to the NBA Finals, the Western Conference Finals?
About LeBron James?
That's
you say is the greatest player of all time.
Greatest player, not the greatest team.
It's only 5 can play at one time.
They got 4 of the top 20 players in the NBA, Skip.
I already told you yesterday, Michael Jordan could lead this Lakers
team. No, he could not.
Yes, he could.
No,
to the Western Conference title. In his prime, at his best. LeBron's a little on the downside.
So he gonna be KD, Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond. Skip, stop
We're leaving it for now because are we going to see an MVP performance from Ezekiel Elliott? I want to hear what he has to say about this. We'll talk about it next.
No mercy.
Well, Cowboys training camp is underway here in California. Last year, Ezekiel Elliott ran for nearly 1,000 yards in just 10 games because of his suspension. But apparently, it's a new year and a new Zeke. Cowboys running backs coach Gary Brown said last year Zeke was stressed out, and this year he's, quote, happy and jubilant. Brown added that Zeke is in the right place mentally, and he's in much better shape than last year. Shannon, what will we see from Zeke this season?
I expect Zeke to have a monster year, Skip. I would be shocked if he didn't have somewhere between 350 and 400 carries. When they say they're going to make this offense more Dak friendly, that means Zeke's going to have a heavier workload.
I'm with that.
They're going to run him,
Yep,
and you mentioned they're going to give him the opportunity to carry to catch the ball out of the backfield. So I expect him to catch the ball somewhere between 30 and 40 times a game, a lot more than what he did his first 2 years in the league. He's a special talent, Skip. And with the weight of, am I going to be suspended? Am I not going to be suspended? And maybe he didn't take off-season conditioning as serious as he needed to take it last year. Because when he showed up, I said, Skip, he looked a little heavy. He don't look like that guy that used to have his shirt rolled up and look like he got tennis balls in his stomach.
Agreed.
He didn't look like that. And I think it showed. But that was a lot to have on a young man's plate. especially what he was being accused of. He was basically fighting for his ability to play in the NFL, and he was fighting for his family and his good name. And but I expect him to have a monster year. DeMarco Murray's single-season rush record is in trouble. That of the Cowboys. That 1848 is in serious jeopardy because I believe he will get somewhere between 350 and 400 carries a season, and he'll be somewhere between 4.5, maybe even 5 yards. So he could easily approach that 2,000-yard barrier. Zeke Elliott is going to be a monster this year.
Thank you for opening that door for me, because I'm going to run through the door you just opened. I'm going to go you several better on this one. I'm going to first remind you that we're approaching our 2-year anniversary here on Undisputed, our partnership. We welcome Jenny into the partnership.
Thank you.
2 years on September 6th. Soon after we launched 2 years ago, I started predicting that Russell Westbrook would average a triple-double for that 2016-2017 season, and he did.
Correct.
So I'm about to make another prediction. I believe that if all goes well, and obviously health plays a bigger factor, bigger role often in football than it does in basketball, but if a bunch of people stay healthy for the Dallas Cowboys offense, including most of all Ezekiel Elliott, I believe he will break Eric Dickerson's NFL single-season rushing record of 2,105 yards. Eric, obviously a contributor here on Undisputed, will not like me predicting that, but I am predicting that because all the planets have aligned for this to happen this year in the Dak-friendly offense that you suggest. But I'm going to point out that year in L.A. for the Rams, that was 1984. Remember, that was 34 years ago that this record was set.
I remember.
It has endured for 34 years because in those days, it was more regular for a back, the lead back of the team, in this case, Eric Dickerson of the Los Angeles Rams at that point, to have more carries than the team threw passes.
Absolutely.
So he had 379 carries, and all their passers, and they had 3 different ones play, mostly Jeff Kemp out of Dartmouth University, which is why he was running the ball, but they only threw 358 total passes. So 379 runs to 358 passes. Wow, that's 21 more carries than passes.
But put that in perspective, Skip. That's only 700 total plays. That's only a little over 700 plays. Think about the teams now, quarterbacks are throwing the ball 600 times, just throwing it.
Yeah, you're right about that. But you have to go all the way back to Eric in 1986, 2 years after this, to find the last time a single back, had more carries than the team threw passes.
Yes.
So that's 32 years ago. So for 32 NFL seasons, that's never happened.
No.
And I believe it just might happen with these Dallas Cowboys.
He's definitely capable of it, Skip.
Again, these Cowboys are receiver challenged at this point in time. It doesn't look great. Maybe I've told you I like Dak spreading the ball, reading, reacting, getting everybody 4 or 5 catches instead of throwing 12 balls toward number 88, who was leading the league in drops, Des Bryant.
Now you know he's going to tag you in the
He's
post.
going to tag me, and here we go again. Sorry about that, Des. I did not mean to pile on. But the offensive line underachieved last year. They drafted Connor Williams out of the University of Texas, 6'6", 315 pounds. 2 years ago, in his sophomore year at Texas, he was first-team All-American at left tackle. He is now the starting left guard for the Dallas Cowboys. And in case A.Smith, who you always say, bad back, big trouble, right? In case he goes down or misses a few games, they will slip Connor Williams over to what they didn't have, which is a quality backup at left tackle. I think this line will come back alive this year and be the best offensive line in pro football, which is all going to lead to the breakout year for Ezekiel Elliott, because he had 1,631 yards as a rookie when he still didn't know how to play, and that rookie was carrying around a little pot belly, which we talked about. I brought it up right away. I don't like the look of that. Emmitt Smith had a little pot belly, but he was a very different runner than Zeke is.
Yeah, he was built different.
Built different, built lower, built squattier, you know, duck inside those elephant offensive linemen, and you couldn't find him. But Zeke runs a little higher and a little stronger, and he will run to contact and through contact more than Emmitt did.
Absolutely.
So in this case, I believe that Ezekiel Elliott will be on a Brady-esque mission to get even with the NFL for what I thought was an outrageously unfair 6-game suspension. Because I'm going to say it one more time. The NFL's Director of Investigations recommended no suspension after she was the only one in the league office to interview the accuser of Zeke, not 2 or 3, but 5 times. I think 5, maybe 6 times it was.
Yeah.
Six times that she interviewed said accuser. She recommended no suspension, whatever. He was gone for 6 games. As you point out, it hung over them and him the whole year. I think it took a lot out of him because he was constantly talking to lawyers and going to court. And it's just not the way to prepare for football games, and then he missed 6 of them. And I believe, just like Tom Brady, after Deflategate, Tom came back on a mission. And I believe Zeke will say, okay, watch this. I'm seeing different things from him. I'm hearing different things from him. Again, he's the one that you say you got to keep the cell phone under your pillow because it might ring at 3:30 in the morning because you just don't know. So I will believe it when I see it, but so far I am seeing it. If anyone is capable of breaking that record, it is this young man because he is as special as they come at this position. He is rare. I'm going to say it again. At the end of his sophomore year, remember those last 3 games, Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin, 220 yards. St. Nick's defense, Alabama in the national semifinal, 230 yards, and then Oregon national championship game, 246 yards. This is special stuff. This is in rarefied air of running back.
But Skip, that would concern me because then I believe in order for him to do that, he's going to have to break Larry Johnson, the old Kansas City Chiefs running back, carries in a season. Now, that's going to be crossing the Rubicon. Now, you know he was never the same once he went to that 420. You're asking
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
Well, I mean, you might use him up faster, but I'm just saying, whatever he has, I'm going to just let it fly.
Because
DeMarco Murray was never the same after 14.
And it's a rarity.
That's fine, but you at that position, you just have to let it fly.
Well, he wants a second contract, Skip. Okay. He saw Todd Gurley. What did Stephen Jones say? Stephen say Zeke saw what Todd got.
I'm going to knock on wood on this one.
Okay.
But Zeke Elliott is LeBron-esque as a running back in that his durability is supreme. So far, so pretty great.
Yes.
Because he broke his hand one training camp at Ohio State, but then he played the season. And early in his rookie year in the NFL, he had a hamstring issue, but it didn't persist. So as far as knees, shoulders go, so far, so good.
Yeah,
so great.
400.
I know,
I mean,
it's a lot of
400.
stuff.
And then if you say you're going to throw him the ball 30, 40 times, so you're going to be somewhere around 450, maybe 460, 70 touches. Man, that's an awful lot. And ED was 6'3", 225.
He was.
Zeke is 5'9".
He might be 6 feet.
6 foot, what? 220?
225. He's put together pretty well.
He is Skip, but that's a lot of mileage.
So quickly, I looked back at 1984, and how did our man Eric Dickerson pull this off? Well, he started off slow. In week 3, he had 49 yards. In week 4, he had 89 yards. And you would have thought at that point,
no chance.
2,100 yards, break O.J. Simpson's record? No way.
But he went more.
But he had 2 200-yard games, 208 and 215. And in the 215 game, which was in week 15, he broke the record.
Right.
So he did it with 2 big games and then a whole lot of really good games.
Yeah.
And Zeke is capable of, to break it, he probably needs a couple of monster games.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have a couple of 200-yard games because in Edie's rookie year, Skip, he went 1808. And then he followed that up with with fewer carries because I think he had 404 carries in his rookie season, and then followed that up with 379 in the second season. But normally you start getting to that 400 threshold, Skip. I mean, Eddie George was never the same. TD had 392 for 2008. He was never the same.
Well,
look at Sean Alexander.
You know what? Maybe that suspension last year will turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to him. It saved his body for 6 games. And during those 6 weeks, according to our Eric Dickerson, because he went to visit him, he went to Cabo San Lucas, and he actually, dare I say, got in shape.
Well, he definitely looked better.
He came back and looked a lot different.
He looked a lot better when he came back than he did before he left.
Okay.
So I feel comfortable to say I believe he'll get DeMarco Murray's 1848. But I think
2105. So you need 2106.
So in other words, so what's Dak gonna do? Dak must be gonna have 1,300 yards passing.
It's a lot of pressure.
Just 50-50. That's all you need.
Skip.
Just break it down 50-50.
That'll be like some NFL record.
You have to throw it enough to keep 9 guys out of the box, right?
And that's the thing, because you know they're gonna sell out. And that's what's gonna make it so impressive. Zeke could easily win the MVP. He goes 1,800 yards, and everybody's got 8 guys, 9 guys trying to stop him. They have a decent record, 11-5. It's going to be hard for him not to win the MVP.
You don't think 10 guys were trying to stop Eric in 1984?
Yeah, but them.
Huh?
Yeah, that was just a magical season. It's just like the AP season of 2097. Christian Ponder did just enough because remember that last game. Every time they sell out, Christian Ponder because he ended up having like 200 and 300 yards that last game against Green Bay. Green Bay.
Christian Ponder still threw it. I looked this up this morning. I can't remember the number, but he threw it a good number more times.
Oh yeah.
He
He was over 400 attempts, I think.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I could see 50-50. I could see this team being very difficult to defend because once he gets cooking, he dominates.
That's what you hope.
Dominates.
But what about that anonymous scout? Hold up. What about that anonymous scout?
What about
the Giants?
Yeah.
You better pray for bad weather. That's what he said. And what walking to him gonna go? The Eagles. Hold on. Did the Eagles move out of the NFC East?
No.
What about the Giants?
I don't know.
So what they gonna be doing while Zeke doing all this running?
I got to tell you, Ezekiel Elliott is so good that he will transcend the Eagles or the Giants or the Redskins. He will transcend.
Fletcher Cox, you hear him?
He's too good. He's just too
Michael
good.
Bennett.
You can all have, you all
You
come.
hear?
All come.
Malcolm.
Yep.
I like your
Bring
point
it all
about
on.
saying that he wants to prove something
He
because, I mean, he wants to make a statement this year. And I hope he does just for my sake, sitting between you two, talking about Zeke all year.
No mercy.
Kevin Durant has won 2 titles in his 2 seasons with Golden State, but there is a lot of speculation that he could leave the Bay Area next summer and he could team up with LeBron in LA. It seemed like a likely destination, but Chris Mannix of Yahoo said that if Durant wins a 3rd title next season, he will probably not want to team up with the King. Mannix said, quote, Kevin Durant's going to want to be the player who eclipses LeBron. You want to be the guy. I think that's going to keep him out of LA. He also said a return to Oklahoma City would be possible. I don't know about that. Shannon, where will Kevin Durant be at this time next summer?
I believe there's an 80% chance, Skip, he's in Golden State. I believe Golden State is the prohibitive favorite. I say there's a 10% chance that he'll join LeBron at the Lakers, and there's a 10% chance he'll be elsewhere, including OKC. But if I had to wager any amount of money that meant something to me, and if I got to put money down, it's my money, it means something to me, I'm going to say he's going to be in Golden State. But I never got the impression that Kevin Durant he was just going to be a 2-team guy. It was going to be OKC and Golden State, and that was going to be it. I never got that impression. I could be wrong, but I always felt that he went there for a very specific reason. Once he got that taken care of, win a title. He got tired of hearing Kevin Durant is the best player never to win a title.
Yep.
He got tired of hearing that.
He did.
He joined a team. They won the title. They won another title. He's the Finals MVP.
Yep.
They're the prohibitive favorite to do it again. Now, he also is a guy, for the very first time when he made that decision, he made a decision that was in the best interest of Kevin Durant. For the longest time, I guess he had made decisions that was in the best interest of everyone else other than Kevin.
Okay.
Someone always had, well, Kevin do this, Kevin do that. KD says, you know what, I'm going to do this for me. And I believe if he were to pick up and move, or if he were to stay, this is going to be his decision. But would I be shocked if Kevin Durant left Golden State? No, I would not. But they got some decisions they got to make, Skip. Now, I get it that Klay, let's say he loves winning titles 3 and 4 years. But Klay Thompson's making about $15 million.
Yep.
He sees what other guys are making. He sees Bradley Beal get $30 million. He sees DeMar DeRozan getting all this money. Klay Thompson's going to want 30, 35, almost $40 million.
You hope that he does.
Oh, yeah, I hope it. Oh, yeah, he going to want it.
You want him up out of there.
Now, it's going to be a lot easier because in 2019, they're going to move into this new arena that's in San Francisco. That's a big old playpen. More seats, more courtside seats, more revenue, all that stuff. And so, but there's only so many spots on your team, Skip, for $30 million players.
Although sometimes I don't think Golden State has a cap. They're the one team, they don't have one.
Well, if
they
they'll
got
get
an exemption. I don't know what happened.
I mean, KD might play next year for free in order for them to keep
Maybe.
to keep Klay.
Yeah.
But like I said, I believe Golden State is the prohibitive favorite. They feel very good because then how does he leave after winning 3 in a row and he's the 3-time Finals MVP and you just pick up and leave? Now, if he were to lose, okay, all bets are off. But it makes it very, very hard, Skip, to win 3 titles, 3 Finals MVP, because now you'll be on the cusp of doing something only the 60 Celtics have done, and that's a 4-peat.
That is true.
True.
So, gut feeling. I believe I will give it a 55% chance that Kevin Durant is a Laker 1 year from now.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll give it a 1% chance that Kevin Durant rejoins Russell Westbrook. A 1% chance.
Right.
And I'll deal with Oklahoma City first. Obviously, I'm from there. I would love to see Kevin go back there. I think there's a big part of him that would like to go back there because we know how sensitive, sometimes oversensitive Kevin can be. And I think he still feels deep guilt over leaving, not Russell, but leaving the Thunder fans because they were good to him for a long, long time. And it's a fun place to play. It's an easy place to live in. It's why Paul George said, I'm staying here. I don't need the bright lights in the big city. Go ahead.
I believe if Russell had left and went somewhere else, KD would go back.
Okay. But I believe Russell would veto. If Kevin knocked back on the door, I believe Russell would go to management and say, no, you cannot do this to me because he does have him a Paul George. He has something. He doesn't have him a Durant, but he has a Paul George. And Paul is signed now for the next 3 years with a player option in the fourth year at $38 million. So wouldn't you think Paul's going to be there for probably
Paul
4
will be there for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
4 years. And Russell, I promise you, if you put him on a lie detector today, he'd say, we're going to win a championship. Right? Because he just believes it. With what they have, continuing to mix and match talent around him, that he believes they'll have enough at some point to break through and win a championship. That's debatable. But I don't even think Kevin wants to try to reunite with Russ because I think the bridge got burned to the ground. It just did. It got deep.
What did he send him a text?
Yeah.
I don't think he talked. I think he sent him a text and said,
And then it became very clear that Kevin finally concluded, I cannot win a ring with him as my primary decision maker and my point guard. Okay, well, that's bridge burned. That's game over for those guys.
And Kevin kept taking shots. You know, I like the way we play ball here.
Yep.
You know, I like the ball movement.
So I keep telling you, I know somebody very close to Kevin who told me that LeBron did contact him to say, hey, would you think about coming to L.A. this year? Because Kevin was free. He was a free agent. But Kevin said, no, I want to try for the three-peat. But a year from now, maybe more open to it. Remember the quotes a week ago from Kevin about LeBron set a new tone. He opened up new doors for how superstars handle their career. It's a storybook story. Remember how he went through the whole thing, you know? Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland, win a championship, go to the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, it would mean something to Kevin to go help LeBron win a ring more than to go help Russ win a ring. The odds are much better. And Kevin's in an interesting position because, they could maybe dynasty it in Golden State, but I think because Kevin owns 2 houses in the Los Angeles area, he loves L.A., he spends a lot of his offseason in L.A., and he's very close with LeBron, that I think as LeBron goes into year 17, a year from now, that Kevin would see it as a feather in his career cap.
If he's the best player on the team.
If he's the best player, as LeBron's somewhat not in decline, that's too negative, but he's not quite in his prime. As he's exiting his prime, that Kevin would be the reason LeBron won another ring.
Oh, LeBron being in decline, that's a negative? We just spoke about that. Somebody said.
I'm trying to be nice about it, but again, would Kevin be the best player? Because Kevin's. Kevin turns 30.
No guarantee.
Kevin's still 29 years old. He turns 30 on September 29th. So he's just, he feels much younger. He's about 4 years younger.
4 years. He'll be 4 years because LeBron turns on December 30th. He'll turn 34.
All right. So would it appeal to Kevin to be that guy who went to help LeBron win his L.A. ring? Yeah, I think it'd be a big deal.
Yeah.
It'd be like a story.
And listen, there's no question. Kevin Durant goes back to OKC. He's the best player. There'll be debate. Now, unless LeBron just have this precipitous fall where he just drops off a cliff, I don't see that happening.
Well, Kevin wouldn't be viewed as the bigger player. I mean, it would still be LeBron's team, LeBron's town, LeBron's stage at Staples.
LeBron is the only child, but LeBron is good at sharing. He'd have no problem sharing the spotlight with Kevin Durant. No problem. They hang, we're going to talk about this later. They were at LeBron's after ESPY party. They had them a good old time. So LeBron don't mind sharing. I mean, he's the one because normally only childs are very selfish. Because they're not used to sharing. They're not used to playing with others. So they just mine. LeBron ain't like that. LeBron like, you need some buckets? Take this.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's away from the game, though.
That's true.
On the court, LeBron.
Yeah, but you want to coach me? No, nobody coaches me. That's LeBron.
No.
That's the only child in him.
No,
You can't coach me.
whoa. Do you know what the hell you're talking about?
Yeah.
If you know what you're talking about, you can coach me. That's what the greats want. I've been around them, Skip. Been around a lot of them. When they ask you, you need to have an answer for them. Don't let me get back. No, they don't do let me get back to you. I need you to tell me right now. So that was the thing.
I think Luke Walton knows more basketball than LeBron.
I
At least
don't
in
know,
LeBron's
but
view. No.
Well, he better be in the film room right now because LeBron got these questions. He needs answers.
Yeah, well, he's not going to get them from
He gonna
Luke.
get them. Oh, Luke. Oh, Luke.
Luke's going to get one answer from LeBron. You're fired.
Don't do
That's
that,
what he's
Skip.
going to get. You know it, and I know it. He'll be the
Magic and
scapegoat.
Genie, we've already talked about this.
You've already talked about this. Have you really?
Might be a little chop in the
Inside?
might be a little chop in the water.
Yeah.
But the good captains can steer a ship.
Did you see what LeBron said in the Rachel Nichols? He said we're going to have bad months. He didn't say weeks. He said we'll have good months and bad months, plural. If you have a second bad month with Luke Walton, who's going to get the blame? Boom,
He's
coach
prepared
gone.
just in case. They're not having no bad months.
You don't think
Months.
so?
No, not with an S. They may have a bad, stretch.
Well, he said it. I did.
I'm just saying he just,
Oh,
coming
you
out.
say he misspoke
Because I don't,
about that?
because I don't want you to talk about, they're gonna go 78 and 4, whatever you think they're gonna go. No, he just tried.
78 and 4.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'll tell you what they will go.
Yep. I think that 20 and 20 start.
54 and 28.
Really?
54 today.
54 and 28.
Okay, but his first year in Miami with Wade and Bosch,
So,
where did they go?
he different.
Wasn't that what they
He's a
went?
better player.
Oh, so they're going to equal what they did the
He's
first year in Miami?
He's a better player.
In the Eastern Conference? That was in the East. Okay.
sorry.
54. Well, that's good enough to compete for the Western Conference Championship, I would think.
Hold on. He's a better player today than he was then.
Okay.
54
in
wins.
2010. Okay.
54 wins.
Huh. When he was first team all defense that year.
54 wins, I'll be on that hen. Did what?
You
Did
be
what?
on it.
I'm sure gonna be on it.
I'm going to be on that Diet Mountain Dew.
No, you're not.
I'm going to have
You're
even
feeling
more.
good now.
You
but-
might, but I won't be paying for it
Oh, okay.
because I'm gonna be. The cases of Sprite starting to stack up.
So a different fight broke out in LA. It wasn't
Uh-oh.
between these two. It was Draymond Green and Tristan Thompson. They got into it at a bar in LA, but whose side are Skip and Shannon on? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
So get this, 2 weeks ago, Tristan Thompson and Draymond Green reportedly got into a fight at a party hosted by LeBron. Apparently, Draymond went to apologize to Tristan for their incidents during the finals, and Thompson responded with a sucker punch at Green. Thankfully, LeBron and Kevin Durant then stepped in to stop the fight. Shannon, you know I love my reality TV. This is good drama. But whose side are you on here?
I'm on double T side. Skip, I love Draymond, but I told you, all that talking in front of the cameras. What he called him, and everybody down in press row heard what he called LeBron. See, you say all that things because you know no one's gonna put the mitts on you in an actual game or in the vicinity of the game because Adam Silver gonna put a fine on you so steep, he's gonna make it very cost prohibitive for you to ever fight somebody in an NBA game. They're never gonna have another Malice in the Palace again. They've made sure that, Skip. So here's the thing. And then he kept it going. We not like that. He had the championship parade, Skip. We cut from a different cloth.
Yeah.
We not built like, this is what hold on. After game one, I can't meet him outside of an NBA game because I'll still get fined, but I can meet him in the streets any day. In the summers, you can meet anybody. But all this meet me outside, meet me at the bus, I ain't going for that. But if you want to see me somewhere else, fine, anytime. Okay, now you done did all that bluster, got everybody thinking about, oh man, Draymond from the Sag Nasty, Saginaw, Michigan. Oh, Tristan Thompson, soft, he from Toronto, he from the North. So now you walk up to this man and say, you already said publicly, y'all not cut from the same cloth. Now you want to walk up to him and apologize. Double T said, I tell you what, you got any closet space, Draymond? He's like, yeah, well, hang this two-piece suit up. Wop, wop. Take that with you. Now what?
Now what?
Told you about all that woofing, Skip. Listen, I've had issues with players on the field. Skip, I see them at a different place. I'm not going up to apologize. You know how you see somebody you don't really want.
Just a quick.
You in the grocery store, you see somebody. You keep it moving. We not friends. We already done there. You don't like me. I don't like you. Ain't no apologizing. Stop all this woofing. Stop pretending you hard. It's okay. Look, I get it, Skip. In the battle, we going at it. But you gonna talk about you not cut from the same cloth. He not like that. Man, the North done came down there and dropped them things on you, Draymond. Now what? You never gonna live that down.
He the North. Right?
The North. I mean, Tristan, home of the baby dinosaurs. We know they saw.
He did it.
And Tristan done asked the man to hang a two-piece suit up in his closet. What?
Right here in Los Angeles.
Right.
Whose side are you on, Skip?
You know whose side he on? Double T.
It pains me to admit it. I am with you, and I
Wow.
am against Draymond on this. And Draymond is starting to come off to me, dare I say, as a fake tough guy. Yeah, it is. I loved it when Draymond, during the 2016 NBA Finals in Game 4, finally had enough of LeBron's whining over this call and that call, and he called LeBron James. He dared. He had the guts and the gumption to call LeBron to his face, the B word. And it was so audible that it echoed through the first few rows around the court.
Yes.
And sitting in the second or third row happened to be one Kiki Vandeweghe, who was then the sort of czar of discipline in the NBA and meted out the punishment.
Yep.
And unfortunately for Draymond and for the Golden State Warriors, he then exacerbated the situation by running down court, getting tangled up with LeBron. Remember this?
Yeah.
And as they tried to untangle, Draymond took a really cheap rabbit punch, open-handed shot up into LeBron's groin area.
Yeah.
It was really, it was about as dirty as you can get.
Yeah.
And that did it. That was the final straw for Kiki because Draymond already had a little legacy, a little reputation for those kicks. He had a little history going on.
Yeah, he thought it was a Rocket. He had done kicked.
He did.
Kicked Steven Adams.
He sure did. And that was it. You were gone. That's a big suspension because usually they try to err on the side of no suspensions during the finals.
Exactly.
They took him right out of Game 5. And you know what? History changed. Everything changed because if Draymond plays and they go ahead and take care of business in Game 5 at home, well then is Draymond going to the parking lot after the end of the finals calling up KD?
Nope.
Saying, you got to come help us.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Remember? So everything would have changed. Maybe Kevin Durant's career path changes. I don't know.
But that's the thing, Skip. I get it. You know, you this persona. I can assure you, when Charles Oakley had a beef with somebody, Oak wasn't walking up to him if he saw him in the streets and talking about, hey man, I was just apologize. You know, I want to apologize.
So here's where I immediately lost my love for Draymond. That offseason, after that suspension, after he called LeBron the B word, I'm looking one day at Uninterrupted and that barbershop show that LeBron does called The Shop, and Draymond's sitting in the barbershop with LeBron, acting like they're long-lost brothers. And I said, what are you doing?
And who's in the shop in this one? When he's talking about he shouldn't have gave his oldest his last name. Who's sitting in the chair right next to?
I can't remember.
Draymond in there.
Oh, Draymond was in this one. And then I read that Draymond has actually joined business forces with LeBron and company, and he's now a partner in the LeBron-owned Uninterrupted.
Yeah. Right.
So Draymond's actually a business partner of LeBron's.
Right.
Well, all bets are off now. That's all. I'm over.
I told you that.
Okay.
I tried to tell you then.
All right, so you're out. All that was fake tough guy stuff. And now we come to this, and they go back and forth on the court. And Tristan wanted to go, man. He wanted to go.
He said,
for
"Beat
real.
me."
That was for real on the court.
But see, he had that pent-up frustration. They had already, he had something else going on off the court, and everybody was taking shots. So he already, he had to show his worth. He had to show his manhood. Challenge that man like
You're
that.
reading into that.
I ain't trying to read into nothing.
Reading into
he had some. Well,
maybe, maybe not.
Well, Chloe had to lump him up when he got home. So he had to. So he gonna take it out on somebody. But Skip, I keep telling you, you keep whooping in people's face.
Yeah.
At some point in time, somebody gonna make you put up.
Yeah. So you then can't walk up at a party to Tristan Thompson and basically say that was all for show, bro.
Yeah, no.
Let's
You done embarrassed
hug
me.
it out. Let's hug it out right here. I'm not going to hug it out.
No.
And not only am I not going to hug it out, but if you keep coming at me, I'm coming right back at you. To your point, boom, boom.
That's the.
Yeah.
You can't have that alligator mouth with a hummingbird butt.
Yeah.
Because somebody gonna put you to the test, Skip Bayless. It's just like anything. You keep every time. Let's bet, gamble. I had a friend. He wanted to bet everything until somebody put the money up, and then all of a sudden, you keep talking about that. You keep talking about, okay, we can't do nothing here, but see me in these streets. Man, look here. And every time it was a sucker punch. It's a fight. There's no fairness in fighting unless you're in a ring. They have rules in the ring. You fighting in these streets, you fighting in a bar, there are no rules to fighting. It is a fight. anything goes. And when you walk up on a man and you already told him, we not cut the same. You ain't about that, boss. What you think he about to do? The moment you feel tension,
So I'm going to remind everybody that Tristan is listed at 6'9", 238.
Yeah.
Draymond's listed at 6'7", 230, but I don't think he's 6'7". I think he's more 6'6"-ish. He's not as big as Tristan. So if this ever did come to somewhere, sometime out in the streets, I got Tristan all day and all night in this one.
but look, why are you trying to fight? Just go, oh, look, I get it. It's an image. But when you start going publicly and you challenge this man and say, oh, we not cut the same. Yeah. We not from the same neck of the woods. We don't, that's not how we do business. You said that publicly. Yep. You've tried to humiliate and embarrass this man publicly. And then when you see him in these streets, you're going to pretend everything good? Bro, we're not like that. And
I'm starting to think that Draymond's mostly talk.
Durant got a two-piece hung up on him. What are you supposed to do, Skip? You don't let somebody walk up on. First of all, if you already told me that, I'm surprised Tristan didn't touch him before he even got it out of his mouth. Because I see you walking up. You already told me we not like that, we not cool. What I'm supposed to think? I'm thinking you coming to apologize?
Probably not. And apparently no phones were allowed, no photos. That's why it took so long for this story to kind of come out to the public.
LeBron is going to miss Tristan.
Yeah.
Because he was an enforcer for LeBron.
Yes.
He was.
Jordan had one. He had for a long
while. Yeah, he did. No, he did.
Everybody has those guys.
So who's LeBron got now? Brandon Ingram?
No. Probably, I don't know. Lance.
No, I don't think it's
Lance and JaVale.
I don't think so.
Beasley.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I feel like, are we all on the same page here on this one? This is a day to remember.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I can't. I used to love Draymond, but I can't.
Jenny, oh, but his guy. Oh, would somebody even stoop to the level to call Michael Jordan that? And he didn't even mean it. Called him a name that he didn't even mean.
Okay, that didn't last long. Why are the Steelers taking shots? Le'Veon Bell, we'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Le'Veon Bell is holding out from Steelers camp, but apparently he's still having some fun. TMZ posted a video of Le'Veon and his girlfriend hanging out at a Miami strip club on Monday night. Interesting place. But earlier in the day on Monday, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin called out Le'Veon, saying to CBS that he hopes Bell shows up to camp in better shape than he did last year. Okay, that video is the only video we can show you.
Whoa!
You can use your imagination.
Just be careful. Just be
on the
careful.
rest.
It's okay.
He had a girl with him. She was cool with it. I'm cool with
I
it.
can't imagine that was her choice. Shannon, maybe it was. What do you make of all of this?
The Steelers could have avoided this situation by paying Le'Veon Bell, Skip.
Well, obviously.
And he'd have been in camp. He would not have.
Easy for you to say.
He would not have been there, Skip. But I heard, Jenny, the wings and the chicken tenders at them places, bang, bang.
You did not just, no.
Bang, bang.
We're not going for the food.
Steelers can fix this problem, Skip. All they had to do was just pay him. If they'd have paid Le'Veon, Skip, he'd have been in camp. And plus, they make it seem like the man was there at 10 a.m.
So wait, you're blaming the Steelers for him being at the strip club in Miami?
It's a free. Hold on.
Get it.
He might live in Miami. He might have worked out during the day, blow off a little steam during the night.
Possible.
Okay, what the problem is, Skip? Mike Tomlin knows how this thing works. Nothing gets you in football shape like playing football. So I don't care how many hill sprints he runs. I don't care how many wind sprints. I don't care how many parachute runs. Until you're out there actually playing football, that's what gets you in shape. Now, I was as conditioned as anybody, Skip. But guess what? When we put those pads on and those helmets on and we started having to play, I was tired, dog tired, because I didn't have on helmets and shoulder pads when I was training. So until you get into that environment, that's when you get in shape. Mike T knows how this is going to work. He's going to show up that Tuesday. Okay, let me take that back. That Monday before the first game, that Sunday, he'll show up. It's going to take him a week or two to get in shape, to get his football legs, his football wind going, and then he'll take off from there. Mike T, you know how this goes. You're not surprised. It's happened the last 2 years. So you should know how this thing plays out.
My turn.
Yes.
In and of itself, I got no problem with him going to that strip club with his girlfriend, without his girlfriend, whatever he wants to do, that's his business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to criticize it. I'm not going to condemn it. But I will comment on it in the context in which he is operating right now.
What'd he do?
He is still negotiating with one of the cornerstone franchises of the National Football League, a very conservative organization known as the Pittsburgh Steelers, in a blue-collar, cold, tough town, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the look of that was a bad look for Le'Veon at this point in the negotiation.
Well, they can't negotiate now, Skip. He locked into that $14.5 million.
But you're still hoping that the ice will break and that you'll go forward with getting your money at some point.
They're not going to pay him.
You're sending the wrong message if you want to get paid for the duration. If you want that Todd Gurley, what was it, 4 years, 57.5 with $45 million guaranteed. That's a long-term commitment to Todd Gurley. And what did the Rams say about that commitment? It had a lot to do with his intangibles, with his behavior, with his leadership, with even down to his willingness to block.
And his age.
Okay.
So you wouldn't pay Le'Veon at 25. You wouldn't pay him at 26. You going to pay him at 27, 28? Probably not. This is why they didn't make that long-term commitment. So whatever, and Le'Veon says, hold on. This is my off time. He said, first of all, y'all got a problem with what I do, and do y'all realize who the quarterback is? Do y'all remember some of the behavior that he's partaked in?
All right.
So don't come to me with this holier than thou. And look.
Well, he's had his problems.
Yeah.
He's been suspended twice for his substance abuse.
And I think that has something to do with it also, Skip, because can we trust? Because you give this guy this guaranteed money, this big signing bonus. Okay, he got that. So unless you got, you get suspended, they're going to try to, his agent's going to try to make sure they don't have to give anything back if a suspension were to come. But I do believe that this is what makes the Steelers hesitant to give him that long-term money.
Yep.
Is because he's had those issues.
Thank
and
you.
I don't know if he's in or out of the program. He might be one strike away from being gone a year.
He might
be totally out of the program and scot-free. But for whatever the reasons, the Steelers said, nah, we're not here. We're not there, bro. Todd Gurley is, 23 years of age? That makes it a lot easier to giving somebody, that kind of money. Jen, I can't believe you scoff at that.
It is an image thing.
Make it rain.
Especially putting yourself in that position. If you're going to go, don't post it.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
You sound like you speak from a lot of experience.
Make it rain. Skip, I can't make it rain. I make it hail. I throw a couple of coins up there, and that's all I got for you. But back in the day,
Oh,
make
no
it rain.
coins. No
Skip, I had
making it rain.
long time ago, Skip. I was young.
I wouldn't know anything about any of this.
Skip, you got to say you've been one time.
I've been a couple times.
Okay, you got to say you've been 100 times. I mean, if you go.
100 times.
Just don't post it on social
Okay,
media.
so Shannon Sharp,
Yes.
what do you think Art Rooney, the owner of the Steelers, of the noble Rooney family, the royal family in the National Football League,
They are.
he sits back, do you think he watches the video? He probably does. And what do you think he thinks? That guy wants me to bet about 50 guaranteed million on him? Really?
He said, that's what you're going to be doing with my money? Le'Veon said, yeah, once you put direct deposit.
Ah.
I mean, you be
Do
upset.
you have direct deposit yet?
I just got it.
You just got it.
I'm going to get Netflix. I'm getting Netflix.
You don't have
soon.
email, but you do have direct deposit.
I ain't
That's
got email or Netflix.
breakthrough.
But I'm going to
Get
get Netflix.
You should get Netflix. It's
get it.
worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it.
I can't believe y'all. Hold on. What Fox put that money in my direct deposit account?
Yeah.
If I want to go out there and drop a few. Skip.
Yeah.
These girls, they going to college. They want to make something of themselves. I'm trying to help them.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, they need books,
cannot make that
tuition,
argument.
room and board, Jenny. You want college, but you got a scholarship, Jenny. You lacrosse.
Not a full scholarship, but I wasn't doing that.
Okay, but I'm just saying, some of them, they're not fortunate.
Jen, you better be careful. You're going to alienate your partner over there.
I'm not happy right now. Not happy right now.
Happy.
It's an image thing. It's dumb. He's making himself look like he doesn't make good decisions.
He made great decisions. The food
On
is
the
good.
field,
The
maybe.
food good, Jenny.
It's not that good.
Jenny, are we going to Super Bowl this year?
I don't know.
Hey, we need to go to Atlanta.
Turn up.
Turn up. Jen.
Okay, we are moving on. I can't do this conversation anymore. Did LeBron come to LA just to be a Hollywood
Yes.
superstar?
No.
We'll discuss that with Eddie House next.
No.
No mercy.
So LeBron's decision to bring his talents to LA has been the story of the summer. On the court, he insists the Lakers are not rebuilding. And off the court, LeBron has turned heads by dining with A-listers like Leonardo DiCaprio and booking movie and TV deals for his production company. And now TNT's Charles Barkley weighed in on LeBron's decision. He told Sports Illustrated, quote, "I look at the move to LA strictly as a business decision. He's on the downside of his career, and he wants to be a big Hollywood mogul. He's going to be driving by the beach every day, insisting that he's over the snow. The Lakers are not even close to a top-tier team. They're a 5 or 6 seed in a best-case scenario." Good morning, Eddie House.
Good morning.
Eddie House.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Do you
Eddie,
agree
way to go.
with anything that Barkley is saying?
I agree with the fact that he moved here looking forward to the end of his career and planning for that, trying to get ahead of that. But I don't think that he moved here strictly for being a Hollywood mogul. I don't think that at all. He again, I said this on Speak yesterday, he's a basketball player. That's what he loves to do. He loves the game. He's entrenched in the game. He surrounds himself with the game. And so that's first priority. Why you can multitask, and that's what he's doing. While he's playing the game that he loves, basketball, on the flip side of that, he's also wiggling into moving on to post-career, new career. So
Yeah,
I don't see
wiggling?
anything. Yeah,
Wiggling?
yeah, slowly getting in, but not slowly.
really?
He putting his foot in the door, really,
I
to be
would
honest
say.
with you. He putting his foot in, he ain't taking no time, but that's what he's doing. He's planning for his future. And I don't see anything wrong with it, to be honest with you. And a 5 to 6 seed, I said this yesterday, I got them between 3 and 5. They could be a 50-win team yesterday. Automatically, with LeBron coming, you got to give them 10 more wins. And with the addition of Rondo, Lance Stevenson, some toughness like that, I think you could squeeze out another 5 wins, get them 50, and I got them at the 3rd slot.
You know what? LeBron James put old Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless came to L.A. to show that he could gain traction here. Be by the beach and could have a #1 talk show in L.A. He could have stayed put and stayed the status quo. But that old
Time out. Is undisputed not my solitary sole focus in my life? Do I not live and breathe and eat and sleep only undisputed?
That's all you do.
Do I have any other projects on tap, on the front or back burner? I have none.
I don't know.
None.
You might have been, all I know, you might have been at Aubrey with old
Avra.
with old
With
DiCaprio.
Aubrey, you sound like Jed Clampett.
Yeah, you might have been.
Be there.
All I know is Skip Bayless. I don't be seeing you. I don't see no sign of Skip Bayless until first thing bright and early,
That is
4:05 a.m. So something might be going on. The problem that I have with Charles is that he's speaking out of two sides of his mouth. He said in 2017 that LeBron didn't like competition. He wanted all the good players. Don't you want to compete? Now he goes to a team. He didn't join a super team. Now he don't want to compete. He just want to be a Hollywood mogul. Well, damn, if he link up with a super team, he joins Golden State. That's bad. He joins the Rockets. That's bad. He joins Philly. That's bad. Join Boston. That's bad. He joins a team. They have some talented players. They haven't reached their potential yet. Now that's a problem. So what is he to do? Why does everyone want to control LeBron James' career in life? Oh, stay here. No, go there. Stay here. Do this. This is what I would have done. When you had your opportunity to do what you wanted to do like LeBron James, you should have done it. But what they resent is the power that he has. And no one has had it. And he has no problem throwing his weight around. And guess what? That rubs some people the wrong way. And I think it's rubbed Mr. Barkley the wrong way. Got no problem with his critique. If you want to critique LeBron, but you can't speak out of both sides, says the man, he wants all the best players, he doesn't want competition, and then he joins the Lakers and says, oh, all he wants to do is not be a Hollywood guy. Come on now.
All I know for sure is I am no longer the world's biggest LeBron hater. Charles Barkley has superseded me.
No.
He has taken that over. You don't think so?
No way.
Did you read these quotes?
No way.
Man, I love me some Charles Barkley.
No, you don't.
Even
Now
though
we do.
he hates him some me. He has been all over me for years on all sorts of national TV and radio shows, and I no longer care because he is spitting truth about LeBron James. He's basically saying what I said the day after he joined the Lakers. I told you he came to L.A. in part, I think in large part, to segue into Hollywood. Now, I can't blame him for that, but he wants to take 1 year off so that he can reach his tentacles out into Hollywood and have more time. He's going to split time with the Lakers and Hollywood.
No, yeah, stop, Skip, saying that. That's not true.
Time off.
Did he have a contingency plan? Did he have a Paul George plan? Nope. Did he have a Kawhi plan? He did not. He came here solo. He's going to be the solo act with the Los Angeles Lakers.
But he could attract some co-stars though. You know, if you got a chance
After next year.
If you hear Robert De Niro's on the movie, you're going to sign up for it.
But let me ask you a question, Skip. Let me ask you a question. Let's just say for the sake of argument, LeBron comes, and KD and say they were able to trade for Kawhi. Let's just say for the sake of argument, KD joined him this year. What would Charles Barkley have said? Would he have said he just come to be a Hollywood mogul?
Charles Barkley has made it clear both times, back in 2010 and now in 2018, he should have stayed home in Cleveland. Both times he said it, and go ahead and win the East and take his chances against Golden State. If you're the greatest player ever, if you are the GOAT, as Shannon Sharpe or LaShannon Sharpe says, then you should be able to take on Golden State as you continue to upgrade your roster. You could have added Rondo in Cleveland, Lance in Cleveland.
That's Skip. You and
Beasley,
Well, it would be the
LeGan.
same thing. They just got a Cavs jersey instead of a Lakers jersey.
Okay.
I'd much rather be with that roster, live in L.A. and have all the opportunities to segue into my post-basketball career and my new career
Let me
in
ask you a
Hollywood.
question. Do you believe LeBron's old starting five in Cleveland are better than his new starting five will be in L.A.?
Yep, I do.
I don't.
I don't know. I like the young talent in L.A. over the talent that they
How's
have.
the young talent going to get to play in L.A.? And again,
Well,
Charles
that's
said what
that's
I've
Luke
said.
Walton's problem.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
he
Luke
said,
Walton's problem to try to figure that out.
This is Charles Barkley. That's an impossible scenario for Luke Walton.
It's
to
gonna be
coach.
tough.
It's very. I told you guys.
You
It's
earn
going to
your-
be tough because it's like sizes. That's the thing. Where do you play everybody? JaVale McGee probably going to start, like you said yesterday.
Yeah.
Couple minutes here and there. Then you got to move somebody to the 5. LeBron's going to be at the 5 some. I think Beasley will be at the 5 some. You can maybe play Kuz at the 5. They're going to play small, and I think that's the thing that's happening now. The copycat league, we looked at these finals. You see how everybody was switching. And Houston, they were switching, and they were, this might be the way to beat the Golden State Warriors, have like sizes. So that's the reason why
Okay, so
teams
you
are
think
starting
they
to
can
stack.
beat Golden State?
No, I didn't say that. I said they have light sizes, so they're trying to plan. They're planning on trying
Would you like
to
to
beat it.
coach this team? Because I don't think you
Oh,
would.
yeah, I would like to get over there and slide up and down and coach the OK. Yeah, put on some loafers and slide up and down the sideline. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, because you'd have Rondo all over you after
Oh,
the
no,
game.
that's
or you
that's
might
my
have
partner.
Lance in your ear
No,
after the game.
Rondo's
or
my
you'll
partner.
Have, you'll have
we
Kuzma
think
in your
we
ear.
see eye to eye. I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
You
I don't
realize
have a
there's
problem with
one
that.
basketball and there's 48 minutes, and it's just hard, man.
Earn your minutes.
Earn your minutes.
Earn them.
Yeah. So you're going to sit Lonzo for what's he going to get to play? 10 minutes?
Well, hold
now?
on. If Lonzo is transcendent, like you say, it should be a breeze to beat Rondo. That should be that's what you say.
Why would you sign a Rondo who's never been a backup in his life? Really?
Well, if Rondo's that guy, let me ask you a question.
think
What
they
guy
give
do you
game
think
to
could have beat Magic out? What point guard could they have signed? Could they have signed Isaiah? Could they have signed John Stockton? Name the point guard they could have signed when Magic Johnson was in his prime. They could have beat him out for the
they
point
wouldn't
guard.
have offended
Nobody.
him.
That lets you.
insulted him
That
by
lets you. So
signing
what they
one.
telling you? What is Magic Johnson telling you?
I don't know.
You do
Maybe
know.
telling LeVar
You do.
Ball you're on your way out.
You
I thought
do
he was gonna
know.
Be traded.
I think he put pressure on Zoe. He had a decent year last year, but I'm not sure if it definitely wasn't where everybody was expecting
Right.
it to be. His shooting ability went down from college to the pros. His free throw went down. I think his decision-making still was good. I think this is pressure that's getting put on Zoe to either raise your game or we can move away from you. And you bring Rondo in to teach him, sit him down and teach him how to watch film,
Yep.
how to understand games. Because Rondo has a high basketball IQ.
High.
But I want to get to the point where you think that he's going to take a year off, LeBron taking it. How, if you are the best player in the world, there's no way you could take a game off. Every team in the NBA
there's no
game,
pressure, no
they game
expectation.
plan.
Nobody
They game
expects.
plan for you.
Even LaShannon Sharpe is not picking the Lakers to win the West. I don't know
what?
why.
What does
They
that
gotta-
mean?
Speaking of both sides of your mouth, he's the greatest player ever, but what? Can't win the
Jordan
West?
didn't win the East every single year.
Well, yeah, he did.
No,
he
he
didn't.
didn't.
Get out of here,
started,
man.
Once he got going.
Get out of here.
Stop.
Well, LeBron won the East, what,
Eight
nine
straight
straight
times.
times?
Nine
So
times
once
of
he got
50.
started, he did the same thing,
Same
right?
thing.
How many finals did?
See, now
Okay,
you
here we
changed
go.
it again. Now you
You
changed
flipping
it.
from conference
Yeah,
to
'cause
finals.
you can't
No, but
compete
you
with
can't
it.
keep on
It's game
taking
over.
steps. You can't say one
Okay.
thing and then switch. You talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No, I am not. I'm talking out of Charles' mouth right now
Conference
because he's saying
finals.
nothing but truth. And you know what? I got to give Charles credit for this. It started in 2010. He called it a punk move when LeBron first left Cleveland to take his talents to South
Yeah.
Beach. He called the decision a punk move. He called that pep rally at American Airlines with Dwayne and Chris Bosh and LeBron.
That was
not
kinda-
5, not 6, not 7.
That was a little
punk
corny.
move.
Okay,
you,
yeah,
you were
okay,
there.
okay.
I wasn't at the
I know,
pep
but
rally.
you were on the
Okay,
team.
That was a little
okay.
corny,
The pep rally was
Yeah.
over the top.
Yeah,
That
that was a
shouldn't
little
have happened.
corny.
But
Okay, then LeBron, we're going all the way to 2017. We were at the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, LeBron, after a loss, they kind of hit bottom in New Orleans in January of that year, says, We are top heavy as you know what. And he just rips and blasts the rest of the roster. So it's Kyrie, Kevin Love, and I, and we got nothing else. We need help.
He wasn't lying.
Okay? He wasn't lying, and you're going to say that to the rest of your roster? And Charles Barkley, to his credit, stepped right up on TNT the next night and said, that's whiny. That's inappropriate on LeBron's part.
Does he want all the best players? Does he not want to compete? Now he goes to the Lakers and he doesn't have the best players. And now what?
He don't want the best players. He just wants the players to be the best player that they can be. You know, he don't need the best player. He need everybody to do their job and be the best that they can be.
So then LeBron lured himself to fire back at Charles by going Wikipedia on Charles Barkley. And he starts listing all the incidents Charles has been in as he tries to kill the messenger. He can't discount or discredit the message or argue out of the message. He starts saying, yeah, I'm not the one who threw somebody through a window. I never spit on a kid. I never had an unpaid debt in Vegas. And it goes on and on. It's like he read his
low
Wikipedia.
blows.
Yeah,
That's what you call low blows.
okay.
Right?
Well, he
Sometimes you
did.
got to throw
Yeah,
red
he came
punches.
with the
Yeah, you got to.
Oh,
Get him
you
up
got
out
to?
you. Get him up out
Keep
you.
him up, ref.
And LeBron said there's a new sheriff in town.
Yeah.
It's not Charles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All I'm saying,
Well,
all I'm saying is that Charles didn't finish his career in Philly because he didn't think he could win a championship, so he has to be moved to Phoenix. And then when he couldn't,
Don't kill the messenger. It's not about his career. It's about LeBron.
I'm talking about the hypocrisy.
There's no
That-
hypocrisy of it.
If you do the same thing that you're accusing LeBron James of doing,
Did Charles ever say he was better than LeBron James? I think not.
no, Skip, just because you're not saying you're better than somebody doesn't mean hypocrisy. We just talked about Jerry. Jerry said he wants you to toe the line, but when the national anthem is playing, he has his hat on. That's hypocrisy.
That's hypocrisy.
Okay,
Yes, it
Charles Barkley leaving Philly to go to Phoenix to try to win a title. That's hypocrisy. Him going to join Hakeem Olajuwon and Scottie Pippen in Houston. That's hypocrisy.
He wasn't LeBron. He wasn't as good as LeBron.
So
And
what-
plus, he's stuck in an age with Michael
Let me
Jordan.
ask you a question. So what was he trying to do? Was he just going for the weather in Phoenix?
He's ring chasing.
So what was he
Sure he is.
Okay.
No,
Who
he's
doesn't
just,
start ring chasing?
just trying to survive against Michael Jordan, and
when
it's
you-
hard.
What
He
Michael
gets
Jordan
to-
wasn't
guess
in
what?
Phoenix.
You are ring
He
chasing.
Did he
When you
not
get to
get
a
to
certain
a
point in your
final?
career.
He got to a final. Then what happened?
All I'm saying,
Michael happened.
Skip, all I'm saying is that what he accused LeBron of doing, he did it. Granted, he wouldn't join the King. He wouldn't join Scottie Pippen. Even if they were not in their prime, he wouldn't join them for a reason. He didn't go down to be a retirement home with them.
He thought they
had-
was going to win one.
If
Thank you.
LeBron had
Same
stayed
thing
in
Karl Malone
Cleveland, would they not be the favorite to win the East next year? Yes, they would be.
LeBron says, I want a new challenge.
I don't know. I think Boston might
No,
still
no,
be
they
the
would be
favorite.
the favorite.
Boston has a better
Bron
roster
says, I
than
want a
them.
new challenge. Bron says, I want to mess with the West. That's what he wants to do.
He's going to get messed with.
You won't bet nothing.
I think he'll eat the West
I bet
up.
you 5 cases. I told you they're going to struggle to be the 8th
I
seed.
think
I'm
he-
giving them the 8th
no way.
seed. You know what? I just read there was a big poll on ESPN.com. All their experts weighed in, and it's like 50-50 whether LeBron and company will even make the playoffs.
They
next year.
crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah?
They crazy.
Oh,
You
okay.
just not
Yeah.
draw a line through their comments.
Already.
Uh-oh.
54 wins. Don't worry about what this is.
Early.
I already know what's going to happen. Brown bottle it. Early in the morning.
Man, you
Way too
guys
early.
are underestimating what's going to happen.
I think he's
that
going.
traffic jam down at the 7-8 seed, it's going to be unbelievable.
He's not going to be there.
You know what, Coach?
And by the
Kobe-
way,
that.
did you see what also Charles said about my Spurs? He said Jakob Poeltl is the most underrated player in the NBA.
Do you believe that?
No.
I don't know.
So
Charles
why
is
we
Mr.
listen to
Toronto.
Thank
quoting
you.
everything he said?
Yeah,
Like
exactly,
it's
like it's
gospel.
gospel.
enough.
You know what I mean?
You don't think the Spurs are going to be vying?
They're
down
going to be
there?
good.
I think the Spurs are going to be
7-8?
good, and I really like DeMar DeRozan going there. I think it's going to help him a
All
whole
right.
lot.
There's another team you got to deal with.
You know, Kobe lives in Newport, right? The traffic is terrible.
Well,
he
it's-
never had to worry about traffic because he had a helicopter.
Yeah.
Living
That's
the
the
life.
helicopter right there. He fly above that 4, 5, 6 seed.
Look, I think the
Yeah.
tear the West up. I think he'll have a real good season this
He's
year.
good. What did you just say? He's going to
I
tear
think
the
he'll
tear it
the
up.
West up.
He gonna be the MVP.
He been doing it though. You act like he's going to
the
the West, and all of a
West
sudden it's like, damn, he ain't never
MVP.
played him.
Okay,
He been playing the West and
MVP.
been putting the foot up
Okay,
there.
what do you got? Between 45 and 60 wins?
No.
That's how you do it. Like
I got
somewhere
him.
between
I
45.
got him between like 47 and 50, 51.
We're getting closer to
Oh,
that
now
number.
you kind of like.
Yeah, no, I
squeeze
said
it
the
in.
third slot. Look, 50 wins get you the third slot.
Oh, okay.
But I already got something. Look what I said.
That's what I got.
What I told him about him.
3 to 5.
I wrote this down at the very beginning. Both you and Charles are haters.
Hate us.
Both of us are.
Yes, you and Charles.
He is the bigger hater.
I don't know. Yeah, it's close though.
You think I got him still? I hope so.
Where
I
your
hope
bottle?
so too. I don't know.
I
Charles
think
Barkley
you still
though.
got him.
Look what I got though.
All I
I would
know-
be celebrating. Put that over there.
No,
I don't know
celebrating.
what has happened to this man, but he has turned into Eddie.
No, I haven't. I'm just
Eddie
kidding.
and
No,
LaShawn. I
we're
don't
not.
know what
But
happened
we're
to
not
you.
talking about Jordan or LeBron.
How
We're
did
just
he
talking
get
about
to you?
LeBron.
Who got to you?
Nobody
What
got to
happened?
me. You
Somebody-
asked
Eddie
me a
just call it
question.
like it is.
Exactly. Remember I told you yesterday I'm keeping it 100
100.
all the way. Not 1,000 now.
I think you've been hanging out in Brentwood at one of those houses.
No, I damn sure wish I was. I know you got a good chef over there, some good food going.
Skip, all we're saying is the man came out here gonna do work, gonna be in the All-Star
He's going
game.
to do dual work. Dual work.
He ain't doing no do. Stop
What do you
it.
think? What do you think he's
He's
gonna do
got
this
like
year?
4 movie projects on the front.
Let me
burner.
ask you, what do you think how his season gonna finish? The regular season, what his numbers gonna look like to you? What do you
He's going
think?
to win the MVP. I already predicted it. He'll be the MVP.
How you gonna
So
win
then
the
that
MVP?
means
Wait a
without
second.
tearing up the West.
I'm already on record. They're going to be the 8th seed, and they will get swept again by Golden
can't
State,
be-
except this will be in the first round.
You can't be the 8th seed and win the MVP.
Huh? Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
Russell
He
Westbrook.
can.
Did Westbrook do it
Westbrook
last-
was 5th.
Oh,
Fifth?
LeBron James can't? You just watch. All those LeBron protectors.
But if
in
you
the
were
media,
MVP,
those
if he's the
idolaters.
MVP, right, that means he was tearing the West up.
Cooking.
You can't get the MVP without going to work.
No, he'll just be
So
doing
he's not
what
taking
he
a
always
year.
does.
He's not taking a year off. Then that's what I'm trying to tell you.
what will he be
He gonna
doing?
do what he
pressure.
always
No
do.
pressure to
Eddie,
win.
Eddie.
So he can probably play better then.
He gonna be.
Because you think he's.
Nobody can stuff that.
You know what he
stat
said
sheet
all the
like
time?
him. Nobody.
He
He'll
says
play
any
45
pressure.
minutes a
He
night.
ain't playing no 45
He
minutes.
will average 30. What do we got? 33. I'll give him.
That man ain't
33.
playing no 45 minutes.
Yeah, he
Skip,
will.
you say he doesn't perform under pressure, right?
No, on defense he doesn't perform.
You say
at all.
say if it's clutch, he's not. He
Well,
doesn't
he's
want to go
had
to
a
the free throw.
long,
So clutch
bad
is
history.
pressure, right? So
Yeah.
he has no pressure. So he should play better this year then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to stay talking about Charles Barkley because he also took some shots at Kevin Durant. So I don't know, is Skip still going to like him after this next discussion?
Now
Stay with
Charles
us.
your friend, huh? I guess you
a
want
lot.
Charles. You want
it,
Charles.
Charles.
sit
He about
over
to have
here.
Charles come
Yeah,
through.
yeah, he wants Charles.
No mercy.
LeBron wasn't the only one who had Charles Barkley talking. In the same interview with Sports Illustrated, Barkley was asked about the Warriors' dominance and took an unprovoked shot at Kevin Durant, calling him, quote, a really nice guy trying to be a bad guy. He spends all of his time trying to prove to people how tough and bad he is. He's so worried about what other people say. We are joined once again by Eddie House. But Shannon, I'm going to start with you on this one. Do you agree with Barkley about Durant?
Skip, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I just know maybe he wasn't the real KD in OKC. Maybe he felt where he was playing there, he couldn't be the person that he is now. Maybe this is the real KD. How do we really know? I mean, we think we know these guys. Granted, everybody's seen a turn. Kevin Durant didn't get, KD did not get this many texts in OKC. He did not get ejected from these games. It appears to me that KD's like, okay, before he went to Golden State, everybody's saying he's the best player to never win a title. And every time that he started having a conversation, they're like, you ain't got no ring, shut up. So Kevin Durant is saying to himself, hold on, wait a minute. I've won the last 2 finals. I won the chip. I've been the finals MVP. And y'all still find a reason to criticize me.
Yep.
He's not threatening to beat people up, but he will check you if you question him about his play, Skip, or you question him about his place in this NBA. I don't think Kevin Durant is tough. I don't know if he's acting tough. I just think that, he feels that somebody's trying to take advantage of him. They look at him, hey, man, move out the way. He's going to stand up for himself. Maybe this is the real KD. Maybe the guy the first 10 years in OKC wasn't the real KD. I said this about Ndamukong Suh when he had the Subway commercial, Skip. It's like, well, how can that guy be this guy on the field and that guy? I say the real guy you see is the guy on the field. The act is the Subway commercial. So maybe the act was OKC. Maybe this is the real KD, what we're seeing right now. You know him better than I do.
I think I do, but to your point, boy, it's tough. And my view of him changes almost by the day. But in the end, I think Charles, once again, he had a good day yesterday. He's right about this one. In the end, he's a good guy trying to come off as a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I believe, Kevin, I always divide the world into you have a good heart or a bad heart. He's got a good heart. And yet, he's the strongest, weakest superstar I have ever observed because he
hears
struggles with
everything now.
this identity crisis of who am I? What am I supposed to be? And so then he had the shoe commercial, not nice, Kevin Durant, because he wanted to send the message. I'm really a tough guy. I'm a bad guy. I'm not to be trifled with on the basketball court. And he went tech crazy his last 3 years in Oklahoma City, and now he's going ejection crazy last year. Had 5, and had 3 more than he had all his other years.
14 technicals, third most in the NBA.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And yet, in the end, I think he's a good teammate. And all I care about in the end on this show is, can you perform at the highest level when the stakes are highest and the lights are brightest? And he has performed in those 2 game threes and back-to-back finals at the very high, at a supreme level, level above LeBron, in LeBron's house. Twice in a row in game 3, he took over the crucial turning point game of those 2 series. Well, I can't argue with that. So I would have bet against him being able to back it up after he had the weight of the NBA world on his shoulders, and he left Russell and joined forces with a 73-win team that they had 3-1 down in that round of the playoffs, and yet he backed it up like nobody's ever backed it up before. So I applaud him for who he has become, and whatever he's become, again, in those 2 games, he was just better than LeBron James. That's all I know for sure.
He had to sneak that in.
Yeah,
Well, he was. But
he
was the Finals MVP.
He was
twice
definitely
in a
the
row.
Finals. I think I disagree with you saying that that was maybe not the act at OKC and this is the real. I think it's a maturation process, and not him becoming a man, him becoming the man as far as winning championships. I think in OKC, what can I say? I'm a quiet guy. I don't have any rings. I'm going to go about my business. Russ is the guy that's the rah-rah guy. I've been kind of like, the yang to his yin.
Yeah.
I've been kind of over here chilling, going to Golden State, winning the championship.
Yep.
I think he's starting to feel himself. He let them things hang a little bit, you know what I mean?
Oh, he's validation.
And so now he's feeling like I should be getting the same respect as LeBron.
Right.
And so I think that kind of bothers him a little bit. And as far as like being with Chuck saying he's a good guy trying to be a bad guy, I don't think that. I think at times he just has thin skin and makes bad decisions by going on Twitter and it's it's on both sides. See both sides of the coin because he likes engaging with the fans.
He like the interaction.
And having that interaction, and at times it can get him in trouble. So I think he has thin skin. He's a really good dude, and at the end of the day, he's feeling himself for what he's done, and he should be for his accomplishments that he's made in the last couple of years, getting to the finals, winning the finals, and winning the finals.
But a lot of great players have thin skin. And sometimes it takes that to get them to that place. Michael heard what they said. Even if somebody said, "Oh, he ain't gonna do that to me," well, Michael would go out of his way to try to drop 50. Okay, I'm gonna show you. LeBron Smith hit 35 on Jordan one night in a game. Jordan come back there with the back-to-back. Jordan dropped 35 on the half the next night against him. Bro, you're not finna show me up. And these guys what gets Kevin and if he's going back at an NBA player, okay, that's one thing. But a dude, a 17-year-old that wants to be an analyst, can rile you up. That's something entirely different.
I'm not sure if he knows the age. I'm not sure if he sees a comment and says, let me go check to see how old this guy is. I think he just instantly responds and click. What he should do is due diligence, be like, oh, man, that's a youngster. I don't need to engage in that. But I think that's part of what he likes to do. And it also makes the people feel a little closer to him, connected to him. Like, he might respond to me.
That's what I've been trying to tell Skip. Skip, you need to respond to some of them followers.
I don't care what they say.
And
it doesn't
again,
bother me a bit.
And again,
I lose 0 sleep.
But I'm saying though, Skip.
I don't care.
See, you're not personal.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
I'm personable.
You're better.
Yeah.
You're above all
and
that.
they seem like,
just
hey,
let it go.
They like Shay.
no, he want to be petty sometimes.
No, they're like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, man. How you doing, man?
You just want them to reinforce.
No, they're just like, you just a regular guy.
You need them to
regular
validate
guy.
you.
No.
You need the validation.
You know that-
you lose every debate on this show. So you need somebody to say, you're okay, Shay.
You know what I tell them, Skip?
What?
I'm an ordinary guy with an extraordinary job.
Oh.
That's what I tell them, and I am.
Well, that's heartwarming. That's
what's
like
Skip?
you're trying to win them over.
It ain't no American greeting. This is not no hallmark moment. I'm just saying, KD likes to engage. And then sometimes if they don't give him the validation that he feels he's earned, especially now, and rings do give you confidence, you can start, whoa, you got nothing. Why are you talking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he told
You know that's how that go in the room.
Now, because we got the rule. I mean,
Like, hold up, what you thought? You ain't got one of them things, right? Hey, this championship talk over here.
yeah. Like,
You know, that's how that's how it goes.
Right now, going on, got the ring, put all them. Man, where your ring, man? It'll be a wind chime. I come at it like a wind chime. All them rings be changing around my neck, Skip.
Really?
I don't even wear them.
Aren't you going up to Canton?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be going early. I don't know. You gonna have a conversation.
You're going. Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll be.
No, you can't miss. You're not granted a day off from the show. So you're going up to a Hall of Fame ceremony at Canton, but you're responding to a 17-year-old on Twitter.
Yeah, I respond to like 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I'm just a nice guy. It's like Shannon's so nice. He's
Not
the
in the negative.
He's
You on the cool
uncle.
side.
I get him sometimes.
Oh, you get at him?
Oh yeah.
You clap
yeah.
back?
Yeah. I told him I keep this joke tool on me.
So
You keep one in the chamber?
where Kevin Durant lost me early on was during the not nice Kevin Durant campaign. I'm thinking maybe it should be the not smart Kevin Durant campaign, because during those days, I was his biggest fan. Once I'm somebody's fan, I'm just going to beat this death.
Sure will.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, he blasts me to the Oklahoma City paper, where I'm from, it's my hometown, just because I was getting on Westbrook for taking more shots than Kevin Durant. And I was just dumbfounded. And he went to the lengths of saying, I don't know anything about basketball.
Well, Skip, that's his
Wait,
boy.
I'm your biggest fan, but I don't know
But
anything
that's his
about...
boy. He got to take up for his boy.
Yeah, but it was just wrong-headed. You don't need to do that publicly, because in the end, they fell completely
Would you
apart.
want him to call you and say, well, Skip, man, I got to
Oh,
take
like
up for
I got
You
to
could
do
DM
this.
him, slide in his DM.
Yeah, but you wouldn't respond to him,
But then even worse, he wins the MVP and goes to the All-Star game and does the big media session, and he tells all these reporters who voted for him for MVP.
Y'all don't know.
None of y'all know a damn thing about basketball. He went all the way to a damn thing about basketball.
He did.
He might have
Seriously?
he was in a little crisis right there.
Yeah,
he was dealing with some things.
You want to talk about biting the hand that fed you?
He was dealing with some things. But when he was quiet, everybody was like, he's too quiet, too passive.
Yeah.
Now he's too aggressive. It's like, which one do you want him to be? Let him just be him.
How about be
As
you?
long as he a hooper.
Yeah.
Maybe that is him. Maybe you take a dog and corner the dog and keep messing with it. What are he gonna eventually do?
Bite.
Thank you.
So you say Kevin has some dog in him?
Yeah,
I mean, of course, you
I
know
think
he
he's got
does.
big dog in
You
him.
know he does.
That's like my guy.
Huh?
He out in L.A. Got plenty of
guy
dog in
got
it.
no dog.
Oh, yes, he does.
He's a nice guy.
Don't do that, Skip.
He's the nicest guy
Don't
who
do
ever
that.
played basketball.
No, don't do that.
He is.
Don't do that. Skip.
No, I'm serious. He
nice
is.
guy.
He is
Yeah, why
the
you do-
nicest guy
why-
who ever played. That's his problem. He's too nice of a guy. There's no Jordan in him. There's no assassin.
I mean,
There's
it's only
no
one
cold-blooded
Jordan.
killer.
It's only one
I know,
Jordan.
but that's,
Who got more buzzer beaters?
but come on.
You
please.
said he wasn't. At first, he wasn't clutch. Now he hit all these buzzer beaters.
Yeah, well, he had two. And one of them came after a goaltend that should have been called. And Indiana's just standing around looking
I
at
don't
each other
care
like,
when
wow,
it
how's
came,
that?
it came.
It came.
Oh, okay.
For real, I don't care when it came. It came. Tie game, down one.
That's what
If
you
you
said.
take the shit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this was in his 15th year of basketball. He finally hit two. We don't have time because we need another 2.5 hours for me to go over all the failures,
Is you gonna
the epic
nitpick him?
fails of LeBron James.
But that's what Michael
That's
Jordan.
nitpicking.
Michael Jordan got a famous quote. He said, "I've succeeded because I've failed so many times before."
Do you remember the last shot in Utah? Do you remember?
No,
Wait a
that
second.
ain't his last shot.
Hold on.
His last shot wasn't in
Withers.
Washington.
Yeah.
One that counted was he stole the ball from Karl Malone, dribbled it up the court. I still got the picture.
Dennis Rodman.
Scotty's over on the wing saying, "I'm open," and Michael says, "Nah." And a little push-off.
Ain't no little push-off, that's a foul.
A little push-off, huh?
Did he sign that for you? Why you didn't get
It's
that
the only
signed?
piece of memorabilia I owned is this picture. And I got him holding the pose as the ball is swishing, and I got a shot from end zone to end zone, and I can see the faces of all those Utah Jazz fans, and they are horrified. They're like, he did it to us again.
Well, I'm gonna get me one piece of
Gotta get that
memorabilia.
signed.
I want the block.
You gotta get that signed.
I want the block.
I probably
That's a
could.
good image.
I want the
You
block.
should get that signed for
With a man's shoulders above the rim and he blocked Penn's Iggy shot to the glass. That's the only piece of memorabilia. I'm getting rid of everything else. I got a bunch of jerseys.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You gonna get the picture of that, or you gonna get the ball that he
I
blocked?
want the picture. I want him to sign it.
Which one?
The block.
The
You get
block.
the chase down.
We'll get JR to say.
No, JR,
JR started.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Well, JR did it. He
Yeah,
cut him
teamwork
off.
make the dream work.
Hold
Teamwork
on.
make the dream work. He got to cut him
Well,
off. and
when
bam.
Jordan stole that ball from Karl Malone,
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman was guarding him.
But Jordan went behind him. He snaked him.
He
did.
He followed Hornacek through and he peeled back.
Yeah.
We saw.
Okay.
Malone fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
He did.
For the record, I'd take both of those photos. That would be great.
I know, right?
Side by side. Why not? Eddie, thank you for being with us
be
today.
hater. You're
Johnny
a hater.
Manziel is starting in Canada this week. We're all looking forward to it. But will he ever start again in the NFL? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Johnny Manziel will finally get his chance to prove himself in Canada. He's been named the starter for the Alouettes on Friday night, 10 days after getting traded to Montreal. Johnny hasn't started a football game since 2015 with the Browns, and yesterday he talked about his progress. Take a listen.
I felt like the thing I've been missing, even over the course of this year and the couple years is reps. And, as you guys have seen the last couple days, a chance to get with the ones and get some reps is what I feel like I really need and what I've talked to a lot of people about. So, I feel very blessed to be in this position, to be back in a situation where I'm starting again. It's good. It's a quick turnaround, but at the same time, I'm excited for, the opportunity.
I'm happy for him. But Shannon, I got to go back to this. What % chance do you ever give Johnny of ever playing in the NFL again?
I say it's a 30% chance. We like a feel-good story, Skip. Johnny has hit rock bottom through self-inflicted wounds placed upon himself. And for him to go to the depths and somehow has to go to another league to bring himself back up. And I think NFL teams are looking for a reason to give him a chance. And that's what we're seeing here. Because we saw a guy in a very similar situation, never got another chance. And that's Jamarcus Russell. Skip, I believe Jamarcus Russell had more ability to just flat out throw the football than Johnny Manziel. He had some self-inflicted wounds.
Wait, Jamarcus had more ability than a whole lot of guys.
Exactly.
I mean, what was he, like 6'5"?
He was 6'6", about 250 pounds, and could throw the ball 100 yards. But he didn't study, he didn't care, and he ran into some problems off the field, and no one ever even gave him a second look. Canada never called, nobody, Arena didn't even call. So for Johnny to have this opportunity, it shows someone is willing to give him an opportunity. And I believe the NFL will give him, if he shows he's somewhat competent over the next, however many games they have, 7, 8, 9 games, however many they have, Skip. If he shows he's just somewhat competent, I believe an NFL team will give him a chance to come back in the NFL.
I'm not as bullish as you are. And I used to be the biggest Johnny fan, and now I am waiting and seeing. I'll go 20% chance. This is a big deal on Friday night because this is his second first impression that he's going to make with the NFL, because this game is on ESPN2. So NFL people will have an easy opportunity just to tune in for even a few minutes, check him out, see what he looks like, see how he handles himself. And it'll play. It will open eyes or close some eyes, depending on how he looks. Just what's your eye test tell you? What's your gut feeling on how he's comporting himself on the field? How does his body look? How does his arm look? That thing he went through in Austin was just, I think the competition was so meager, but this is another step up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not the NFL, but it's
Close. It's
got some credibility to it. The fact that he could not beat out Jeremiah Masoli in Hamilton under June Jones was a red flag to me. Not off the field, on the field.
Right.
I just couldn't get it because Jeremiah Masoli, and they're only one game better. They've won, 2 games to 1 game for Montreal?
Correct.
So, I don't know. Now he gets a chance to wreak revenge on Hamilton because they're playing
That's what they play
Friday
correct.
night. But, again, back to Jenny's point, he's missed 2 full NFL seasons, and he is about to miss a third. Well, and I know, that's a lot of football.
Well, here's the thing, though, Skip, but he's actually playing. The past couple of years, there was nothing. At least he could say, "Well, I'm going through. I actually playing against competition." Had he not played at all this year, Skip, I think for all intents and purposes, it would have been over. But we've seen the NFL bring guys back that hadn't played in 5 years, so that's not out of the realm of probability, and we know the reasons why.
Right.
But I do believe, Skip, the NFL is looking for a reason because it's a great redemption story. Because it shows no matter how far you fall, if you can pick yourself up, show contrition, and get yourself right, the NFL will give you a chance.
He hit big bottom.
Yeah,
big,
no
bad
question.
Bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not sure anybody's hit much worse of a bottom with domestic violence on top of the drug issues.
Yes.
Whew.
And to not care. Normally, guys that you would think, Skip, if you're going to have those kind of issues, normally those guys are really good. They can play. They give you they make it very, very hard for you to move on from them. A la Josh Gordon getting 5 opportunities, Randy Gregory getting numerous opportunities. When you're supremely talented, they make it very, very hard. Johnny made it very, very easy because he wasn't showing anything, and then they saw how he was behaving off the field in the meeting room. They're like, bro, we can't keep you around here with that.
So, I told you that it's been almost 3 months ago. I ran into Johnny here and ended up having a long talk with him. I was impressed with his fitness level because it was so much better than it used to be because he used to just mail that part in. He had gone to somebody's gym hard because he had a new hard body and his stature looked so different. He carried himself differently. And again, I'm not saying this is going to translate onto the football field, but he looked like a full 6 feet tall. And I'm going to say, I'm pretty good guessing weights. He was closer to 220 than his old 205.
Wow.
In a good way. He plays small because he's quick and he looks like a little guy when you're watching on TV. But he's said all the right things in both Hamilton and Montreal. He's sort of acted the part and done all the right things in practice. Now, can he play the part during the game? And then can he continue to play the part after hours? Because I don't know. I've defended him so many times. I told you I'm out now until he shows me for a long period of time that he can fly it straight and narrow. I'm just not going to trust him because you can't trust him anymore.
I agree, but the thing is Johnny is going to have to have to give a reason. If he were to get back, you say 20%, I say I'm going to give him 30%.
This is to start an NFL game.
That's Skip, but he's going to have to give the teams a reason to keep him. Every day he's going to have to show up to work to give them one reason to keep him.
Yeah, I promise you, his priorities in the past has been party, football. That's what it is. Seriously.
Party, football.
And football allowed party.
Right.
So he became the it kid at all the parties because of the Heisman Trophy.
Sometimes they lose sight of that. They think they're a celebrity.
Yep.
Actually, you're a football player. So don't lose sight of that. We've seen guys, Skip, sometimes get caught up, I'm a celebrity. No, okay. You're still that same person. What happens when the NFL goes away? Are the cameras do they still want you on a TV show? Do they still want you to do certain things? No.
This was an extraordinary talent. Quickness, strength, big play, creativity, just sort of natural, just make it up on the fly. Doesn't want to study, doesn't want to do it by the book.
Can't do that in the NFL, though, Skip.
Okay, well, we'll see because you're going to have to lock it back down now. You're going to have to show them you can make some throws from the pocket and continue to create plays with your legs, but they have to be on time and they have to work.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. Had Cleveland not traded back into the first round and do you think he'd have been a first-round pick? I don't believe he would have.
He seemed to be falling because I thought Jerry was going to take him at, what was it, like 16-ish?
Yeah. They took Zach Martin, right?
Yes, and that worked, man. We're talking about all pro.
Yeah.
Like a perennial Pro Bowl player,
make the
right?
case he's the best guard in football.
You can make that case. So way to go, and Jerry had to get talked out of that. Okay?
Steven said, nah, Dad.
But he was falling, and then Johnny texted Dow Loggins, who was in the quarterback coach in Cleveland, who was at the War Room table, and
Jimmy Haslam was
he walked down to the end of the table and said, look at this text I got from Johnny, which said, let's wreck the league together. I know that's a big mouthful of a statement, but Jimmy Haslam was like, hey, why not? What was, I forget, what, 22,
wasn't it?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah.
So just falling. He probably would have fallen out of the first
believe
round
so,
because
too.
it's kind of sheepthink on draft night where once you start to fall, most teams say, uh-oh, if they don't like him, maybe we shouldn't like him, right? So, one last point on Jamarcus Russell. I said before that draft, I did not love him, and I thought the Raiders were going to make a huge mistake because he threw way too many interceptions at LSU. Look back at the Florida game, all his big games, he threw a bunch of interceptions. But on prototypical talent, on measurables.
And do you watch him in the Sugar Bowl, and you watch him throw the ball, and do you watch him at his pro day?
Yeah. But it's what Al Davis used to love, bombs away.
Oh, yes.
He could do bombs away.
If he'd have just cared, if he'd have just studied.
Yeah.
If he'd have just cared, just a little bit, he gave less than a D.
Yep, he did. And then the NFL completely, to your point, rejected him, and he didn't get a second chance.
Never.
Johnny's getting, he probably will get a second chance. But Friday night's a big deal
It
to
is.
show them that
He
he
could
still
still-
got some game.
And he has had the lowest of lows. And I remember
Yes.
I was over talking about him, the news, but I am rooting for this guy. For Friday night, I really hope.
Jenny, you root for everybody.
No, not
You don't?
everyone.
Okay.
I don't root for. I'm not going to talk about it.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa!
Shannon, there's problem.
I don't root for Le'Veon's actions that we talked about
trouble?
earlier.
Yeah. Yes.
Trouble in paradise.
People magazine has a
Too
story.
soon. Did Paul George make a mistake choosing Westbrook and OKC over LeBron in LA? Maybe. That's next.
No mercy.
Paul George was at USA basketball practice last week and shared that he's already had medical procedures done to his left knee and right elbow this offseason. George blamed the elbow issue on some of his shooting problems this year. He was also asked why he decided to stay in OKC instead of joining LeBron in LA, and George said he loves the Lakers and their history, but he built a brotherhood with the Thunder he didn't want to walk away from. Shannon, what does this tell you about Paul George?
Look at this. Bring this to the steady. Can you see that?
Now we're taking shots of your phone?
No, I was just showing what it is.
Wait,
What is it?
That's 70 cc's of fluid.
Okay.
Now, my last year in Baltimore, Skip, every week.
That's not Paul George.
No.
Is that Paul George?
No. I'm saying he said he
Is
had
that you?
This is me.
Oh, that's off
from
you.
Okay.
Off me. I'm saying my last year in Baltimore, Skip,
Okay.
every week, either one or both knees, I got between 30 and 60 cc's of
Okay.
fluid.
So?
I never said a word.
Okay.
They killed LeBron James for revealing about his hand. So is this what you're saying, Paul George? This is why you had that bad shooting game in Game 5, because of the elbow. Is that what you're doing? Is that what we're doing now? This explains why he didn't go to L.A. Paul George told me he built a brotherhood. Paul George didn't want to walk into that pressure cooker or playing next to LeBron James. Playing next to Russ is one thing, but when you play next to the GOAT, the best player currently in the NBA, that's a whole. Do this, Skip. It's not your turn. I don't know why you would interrupt me.
Yep.
Paul George didn't want any part of that pressure cooker of playing next to LeBron and having the expectations. There are not any expectations of OKC representing the West. He plays next to LeBron James. Their thought of it, I believe if he was in LA and he was next to LeBron, they would be the second favorite in the West.
They would. They might, in some eyes, be the first favorite.
Wow.
Paul George didn't want that. He got 20 ounces. Man, Paul, I think he meant cc's. 20 ounces is a lot.
I agree, it's too
It's
much.
a lot.
You'd be drained of your blood.
If you got 20 cc's of blood, 20 ounces of blood on your elbow, you ain't shooting. I can assure you that.
Yep.
So he might have had something going on. No, I know, Skip. I've had elbow infections and they had to drain it and put the gauze in there so it doesn't get affected. But Skip,
You always say, you played football, this is basketball, right?
I had a different mentality.
And speaking of making injury excuses, can we see LeBron at the podium after getting swept by Golden State?
Oh, see, I already brought that up. I preempted
Could we
you.
see it?
I knew you was going to do it.
I
You
just
set
want to
him
see what
up.
it looks like. He's got a soft cast on his right hand.
Broke his hand.
What are you talking about?
He broke his hand.
LeBron, you don't need to do that. You're too good for that.
Okay, what about Paul?
You have to tell everybody, I got a broken hand. I don't know how broken it was. I think his spirit got broken. I think his ego got hurt.
So we ain't talking about LeBron. We
I
talking
know.
about Paul
Well,
George.
You're talking about making injury excuses. And again, to your point, I've always said Paul George, not the mentally toughest guy in the history of the NBA.
Right.
Why do I call him George Paul? Because he's not that mentally tough. He's a gifted player, but he can't bring the intangibles on a nightly basis. But I do think it bodes well for next year's Oklahoma City Thunder that he got two injuries taken care of. I'm going to go so far as at least they hindered him. He had a balky left knee, and he got it fixed.
Let me ask you a question. When he called himself Playoff P, did he have these injuries
Yes,
then?
he did.
So they didn't affect him then,
Yeah.
just when he shot terrible.
And I'm just going to give him this. I think he had a swollen left elbow for much of the year. I'm sorry, right elbow for much of the year, shooting elbow. And I think it sort of distracts you psychologically. Does it really hurt your stroke? Probably not. But in the back of your mind, are you thinking, this isn't quite right?
I'm sure LeBron had something going on.
He probably
Everybody, all the great players have something. You play that many times and you got a little nick, your toe hurt. Suck it up.
So all of a sudden next year, the Oklahoma City Thunder will be better without Melo and better with a little healthier George Paul or Paul George, whichever way you want to look at it.
We would have never known this because now it seems like the
I'm
reason.
glad we know it. I think it bodes well. It sets up better for the Thunder next year.
It would have boded well because he got it taken care of. You didn't have to know. He got it taken care of.
Okay.
So now it seems he's at least LeBron James still almost averaged a triple-double. He didn't make excuses. They were the better team.
Speaking of knowing, Paul George says he knew LeBron was going to L.A. before he made his decision to stay in Oklahoma City. So he could have joined forces.
He did.
And to your point, I'm going to conclude differently than you do about the point. But Paul George is saying, I don't want to be LeBron's sidekick on the Staples stage because he knew what the media will do to LeBron's sidekick. LeBron's sidekick will get blamed. If things are going wrong, it's your fault. It's not LeBron's fault.
Not
It's never
Kyrie.
LeBron's fault.
Because Kyrie was made of that stuff.
Okay, but Kyrie was seen as a superstar.
Well,
Paul George would be a complimentary star.
Well, I thought Paul George saw him say, they paid him like a superstar.
But he's just a sidekick. That's all he is. And he's a really good sidekick.
Well, you got to be mentally tough to play next to the man. See, everybody can't play with great players, Skip.
I'm not sure anybody can play next to this guy.
Oh, they can.
To LeBron?
Oh, they can. OKD could do it. Oh, Kawhi could do it. Oh, yeah, they could definitely do it. It's not easy, Skip, because, look, I played with John. If John had a bad game through it, what went on, Shannon? I mean, you guys couldn't get
Nobody
open?
blames Shannon Sharp for John.
Because I get open. Because
Nobody's gonna do
old
it.
Shea Sharp was
The
getting
game
open.
doesn't work that way. You weren't the second star in Denver.
I say, hey,
Yeah.
John, they covered.
Yeah.
I tell you, give me a look. I'll be
Okay.
open.
Well, okay. So, but you're out of harm's way. You're out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's trained on the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's trained on LeBron James, except for the overprotective media, which then retrains it
And
on
they're
the sidekick.
overprotective nothing.
Yeah.
You part of the media.
He is the most protected superstar
No, it's
in the
not.
history of superstars.
Actually, it's Michael Jordan.
No, that's wrong.
Skip.
Wrong.
Skip.
Wrong.
Skip.
What was there to ever
Skip.
criticize?
Skip.
Are you trying to get a meme going?
Nah, I ain't trying to get no meme, nothing going. You know the most protected superstar of all time.
How? I don't know what you mean. There was nothing to criticize. What was there? He went 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs. And you're going to do what? What are you going to say?
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, did Sam Smith not write a book, The Jordan Rules, which exposed
How do you-
Michael for punching Steve Kerr and Will Perdue during practice?
No, it was the bad boy Pistons rule.
It
Because
was.
they rule.
Well, they
and before
ruled
them
then.
was the big three Celtics.
Yeah, before he grew up. And once he grew up,
No,
it was over.
Well, it just so happens he grew up and they grew old.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like you like to tell me, Father Time came knocking on their door. And he said, Larry, I need you. Kevin, I need you. Robert, I need you.
You know where Father Time's going to be next year? Staples.
No,
Yeah, he's going to be at Staples.
I got a feeling.
He's going to be in the front row.
I'm thinking 2021, Skip. You might be right.
Yeah,
2021.
Staples next year, and LeBron's going to look over and he's going to go.
Oh, okay. I think
Right?
it's enough MJ for today. Should the Browns start
No,
Baker
it's not.
Mayfield on opening day? We'll
Yeah.
discuss that next.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Browns have reportedly been, quote, floored by the performance of Baker Mayfield at training camp. But Hugh Jackson said Tyrod Taylor, still his quarterback. Shannon, will Baker be the starter for the Browns to start the season?
I don't believe so. I believe that Tyrod Taylor, unless they say they've been floored, let's see once we get into the game, Skip, and see how that plays out. But right now, I'm going to say no because I believe Hugh wants Tyrod to start the season. And if they get off to a slow start, maybe one or two games, Baker will be in there. But I'm going to say no at this point in time.
I'm going to say yes. Don't bet against this kid. He walked on at Texas Tech. They had an incumbent in Michael Brewer, and they had Davis Webb challenging him. Remember, Davis Webb
Yeah.
now the Giants
Right.
back, could be the next Giants starting
Was Mahomes
quarterback.
also there?
No, he wasn't there yet.
came the year
but he
after.
came the next year. But he beat both of them out, and then he walks on at Oklahoma and beats out Trevor Knight, who had just thrown 348 yards on St. Nick's defense
Bowl.
in the Sugar Bowl, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, we didn't want to be there because that kick six, so we didn't really care.
Oh, so you didn't care? But that was Trevor Knight, and Baker just immediately beat him out. It's just in his blood. It's just what he does.
Yeah.
And you watch, he'll outperform Tyrod in these preseason games, and he will exert pressure to the point, I think they'll finally say, hey, he's the first pick in the draft. We just got to go with him. And I love Tyrod. I really do. I've always been a believer in Tyrod.
Well, I felt it. You know what, Skip? I might agree with you had Josh Gordon been there. With Josh Gordon not being there and not having that number one guy to
you're right
go
about
to,
that.
I think they start Tyrod.
Be a little tougher.
Yeah.
If I could just have an ounce of that Baker Mayfield confidence.
He's got that stuff.
There is something special there, and I am
Yep.
with you on that one, Skip.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.